Go. Hi everyone, I'm talking to Casey Lorraine Thomas today. Casey is, amongst other things, she's a certified life coach, a detox, wellness and raw food counsellor. She's also a trained colon hydrotherapist and Reiki practitioner. She's passionate about living a life that dreams are made of in a body that's strong, healthy and beautiful, and she's just as passionate about helping you get there too. Now, Casey, to me, is one of the best walking, talking testimonials of that saying, you are what you eat. Every time I see Casey, I'm in awe of her glowing skin, her energy and her vitality that are just simply shining through her. So tell me, Casey, what inspired you to begin this journey?
Oh, thank you, Chizelle. First off, I just want to say thank you. It's such a sweet, beautiful introduction. I appreciate it. So what inspired me with this journey? Well, actually, it was my own health challenges initially. I was literally top to toe suffering from debilitating, bloody, painful, severe eczema. And it was nightmarish. I was using pharmaceutical drugs every day for about 25 years, steroids in fact. My immune system just was really shot. I was always getting ill. I was tired all the time. I just, I couldn't lose weight, and when I was always struggling with my weight. I was an emotional eater. I mean, it went on, and I literally tried every kind of remedy, both natural and medical, to try and help myself to experience the life that I wanted, and nothing was working. So I finally found a way of bringing together different natural approaches, dietetic approaches, lifestyle practices, which have freed me from using any kind of steroids for over 4 years now.
Oh.
And yeah, awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I'd always been passionate about health and nutrition and things like that, but it was actually taking that plunge to give up my corporate career and study again and start my business. And so I did that and started my business 3 years ago now. Yeah, so my passion is to help other people to feel as good and look as good as I know they can, because I've been there myself, and just to find that complete freedom and that sense of joy and natural harmony and happiness that comes when you're living in a body which is really open and clear and just feels supportive and light, because most people don't even know what it's like to experience that.
Yeah.
Most people, as are so weighed down with health issues, with their own, and it's not just physical health. What I deal with is certainly not just about the physicality, although that's really important. It's also about, the emotional well-being, the mental stuff, the heaviness that comes in those other areas of life. Really holds you back to body confidence, all that sort of stuff. So lots of inspiration from my personal life and also in my pursuit to help others.
Yeah, that's really cool. Was it hard, like taking that first step though and leaving the security of a corporate job? It's a scary thing for people to do, to step out on their own.
Absolutely, and because I was with my long-term partner, who I'm still with then, but we weren't at a place at that stage where we were supporting each other financially, and he wasn't in a place where he had a lot of excess money to support me, and I was on really good money, really high-level corporate job, so I was used to a certain kind of lifestyle and traveling, and to go back to study was hard work. Yeah, but totally worth it.
But how did you stay motivated and just sort of think, oh no, this is just too hard. I want to go back to the easy cash.
Yeah, passion. It really came down to passion. And I woke up every morning thinking, even in the days when it was hard because I had no money and I had to study more and try and figure out this life in a whole new way, I would remember that there's somebody out there, even if it's just one person, who I can probably help just a little bit today. Or, there's some way I can serve someone to have a better life. And, I've been to, hell and beyond in my own life, and I know how much better life can be. So it's just reminding myself of that and focusing on how I can serve rather than how I'm missing out in my life, you know, especially financially,
Yeah.
is what really helps me to stay committed and to get up every day and still try and keep, you know, normal hours and all that sort of stuff, and not just fall into a big, you know, financial heap or a big mess because, you know, I didn't have the desk job to get to or anything like that, you know.
Yeah. That's very, very cool. My husband was saying something the other day about, you know, you can't just think about yourself. You actually need to think about how it's affecting everyone else. And there are so very few people that you hear say that. I'm sure a lot of people feel it, but that's like 2 people in less than 3 days now that I've heard say that. And 2 awesome people.
Yeah. Good husband.
Now, Casey, I find that a thing that a lot of women in particular have an issue with is balance. How do you balance your personal life and your work life, especially when you're so passionate about your work life that it can feel like fun?
Yeah, it's a really challenging one. It's something which I'm constantly working on, and it's something which, you know, everyone is constantly working on. I don't think you could, you know, maybe the Dalai Lama is the only person who's got it all figured out, and even then, I know that he has certain strategies he uses. So I think everyone, no matter how together they appear, is always working on that, because you really have to have a lot of discipline. And, you know, I think it would be nice to think that we could just go and kind of really get in the flow and see what we need to do each day and balance everything naturally. But most of the time we have too many competing responsibilities, demands, and then we have email and phone calls and family and everything else. So I think having a structure is really important, and then not just having a structure but actually showing up. So one thing which I've continually got a lot better at over my business life is creating my boundaries and giving it my all when I'm actually at my computer doing like strategic work, or obviously when I'm with a client or whatever else. And so that way the downtime I can actually really have as downtime. And, you know, I'm always working on that. I do a lot of nighttime work because I have international clients, and a lot of early morning work and run classes, and then I have one-to-one clients and telephone and face-to-face, you know, all those things. So it goes on, especially when you are a business owner. You know, as you know, you're wearing kind of all the hats a lot of the time until you have a big team underneath you or working with you. So it is always just knowing the best ways to spend your time, prioritizing. I always fit in my self-care practices first thing in the morning. Like, there's other things I do during the day, but I'll always get my movement and meditation in first thing in the morning. And some days it will literally be like 15 minutes of movement and 5 minutes of meditation, and that is all I can do. But I will make it happen one way or another.
That's
and other days I might have an hour and a half. It just depends. But those things are necessary for me to feel like I'm really on form. But, you know, very rarely when I don't do those things, I really notice the difference, not only in how I feel, but also in my work productivity. Yeah. And then, you know, I don't actually find it hard to focus with my work because I am so passionate. I think, you know, that's really key for people to find, you know, even if you don't love, or if someone is in a job, you know, a job sort of thing, and they don't love it, even finding what is something, an element of that you're passionate about, and then really trying to focus on that, or mold your job to be more focused on that, is a really helpful thing, because then, you know, you can really actually find more happiness and satisfaction that way. But yeah, so I think boundaries, making sure you do self-care type stuff, and having that balance with health, especially for me being in health, it's really important that I live what I teach. And then really actually showing up big and not procrastinating when the time comes to do certain things, actually just getting them done. You know, a lot of this is really about taking action, and that's one of the reasons I studied to be a coach, is because, you know, it's great to have great ideas and think big and be passionate and be inspired, but you actually have to do things to get anything, you know, really happen. So.
Yeah. That's a fabulous bit of advice that you gave, though, that even if you are in a job, to find some aspect of it that you're passionate about. You know, have you got any tips on how people can find that? Yeah,
for sure. Like, I think look at all the. I think we often get caught up in what isn't working. You know, it's very easy to look at what's, you know, not so good in your life or what's weighing you down. And so it's really important to work on both sides. But I think we really need to try and focus on the good stuff too. So for instance, if you are in a job situation, you really hate what you're doing, maybe there's one person who you like interacting with who's in your team, or somebody that you, a client or something like that. Or maybe there's a particular aspect of your job, like you like writing articles or newsletters, or you like actually doing the coffee run with someone, or whatever it is for you. And trying to just build those moments into your daily schedule in your work routine, so that you actually do have something that you can actually recognize is a good thing. And then, you know, even going further than that, talking to your manager, or if you're an entrepreneur, run your own business, talking to yourself about whatever it is you're doing, to do more of what you love, because you'll generally be really good at it, because you'll make it that way. And bringing more of those aspects into your work, because at the end of the day, like if you've got a manager who is open to, you know, having a two-way conversation with you, as much as they can, they'll support you to do what you do best, because it's best for them as well. So looking at things like that, and then, you know, thinking about all the things that bring you happiness. So sometimes we can't straight away change our job situation, although I could really argue that completely too. There's certainly things you can do, but that's a whole other conversation. But look at the other aspects of your life. You know, maybe there's little moments during your work day that you can do things that bring you pleasure or joy. Maybe there's people you can connect with. Maybe there's things you can do outside of work that give you that passion and joy. And actually, one thing which I think is really important, and this is something that I kind of heard about recently, and I knew it inherently, but I hadn't really heard it articulated before, and I totally agree with this, is that if you are someone who, say you're going to your job during the day and you really hate it and you don't want to be there, and in the evenings you're trying to start your own business or work on something that you're passionate about or be creative or something like that, to go to the job first that you don't feel very happy about, and to do a really half-hearted job and to feel, you know, really down and sluggish about it, and then try and come home and get the energy and passion back to do what you do like, that's actually really hard. It's really hard to transition that. So you're better off giving your all to whatever you're doing at that time, and then taking the steps at the same time to create more of what you do want in your world and cut out the stuff you don't want. But to commit to actually showing up fully. It doesn't mean you have to have the biggest smile on your face all day long, but to commit to actually fully giving yourself to whatever you are doing, because that pattern will then run to you 24/7, and you're going to get a whole lot further with the stuff you do feel passionate about if you do that.
That's really cool. And that's what you're really all about, isn't it? To, like, live the life you love in a body you love.
That's right. Exactly. And my whole thing is that, you know, I definitely want everyone to look and feel as great as they possibly can in their own unique, special way. Not saying we all should all look like models, you know, case in point. But to actually feel good in your own skin and to be the best that you can be, so that then you can focus on everything else. Because that's what it's about. You know, like, the end result is not to lose 5 kilos or to fit into your skinny jeans or to not have excess gas, although that's nice. The end result is being able to have wonderful connections with people, beautiful relationships, to feel passionate about things, to be creative, to explore the world, to show up and be there for the people you love, to move your body, you know, to experience all the emotions. That's what it's about. And unless you've got health and energy, you just can't do any of that really well.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people want those things, but they just don't know how to go about getting them. Whereas where you come in, and you've got quite a few packages that you run for people. You do one-on-one and you do group classes. What would you recommend to someone who is pretty healthy, but they just know something's missing?
Yeah. Well, in terms of what they can do for themselves straight away, or?
In terms of that, and in terms of what you can do for them too, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, I mean, the first thing is just, like, get onto my website, www.CaseyLorraine.com. Maybe you can post that for people. And I have a free report I offer called From Frumpy to Friggin' Fantastic. It's step. And that's a great little freebie report with really, really key concepts. Like, you might read through that and it might seem quite simple and straightforward, But there's so much power behind these really simple things. You know, there's always strength in the simple things. There's a reason why they make so much sense.
Yes.
And just to get that free report, read through it, start to bring those practices into your life, and then check out my recipes, read my blog, try and upgrade your the things that you are eating, add in the good foods. Look at what is one thing which is really helpful is to look at one thing which is really holding you back, and one thing which you know you could be doing to really take your health, your energy, your life to a whole new level, and then just to commit to doing that. You know, even if it's just one thing, that is fantastic and perfect. Just one thing. You know, it's all about step-by-step processes. You know, with the all or nothing approach is really, really not that helpful, and it's kind of unsupportive to our mental and emotional well-being. And then in terms of actually like how I can support you, well, that's what I do. I'm a coach, and I focus specifically on health and well-being. So what I would recommend first is read the free report, and then get in touch with me if you want to do like a 3-week jumpstart detox program. And by detox, I don't mean like hardcore fasting, but simply eating fresh, clean, delicious tasting foods and focusing on nurturing your emotional and mental health. Then I have a great 3-week program called Discover Detox, which you can start anytime. And that you can find at worldwidedetox.com. But otherwise, just drop me an email, get in touch through my website, and there's so many different options depending on whether you're local or international, and whether you want one-to-one or group support.
Because that's it, isn't it? You actually do work internationally as well as locally. So you're accessible to everyone. Everyone can access Casey.
I'd say about 50-50 of my clients. It's about 50% international and 50% Australia-wide. So it's definitely a sign of the way that the world can work with this beautiful technology that we have.
It's amazing, isn't it? Thank you so much for your time today, Casey. I'll actually pop a link at the bottom of this interview with both those websites so people can find you. I personally use Casey. I think she's awesome. I cannot say enough good stuff about her. And I just find her so inspiring. I highly recommend you check out her website. Thanks again for your time, Casey.
Thank you, Chizelle, and same to you. You're a beautiful woman, and I can't wait to see what's coming out from you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.